Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, today we're going to be talking about Joe Biden's ongoing popularity. But before we begin, I have a referendum on my channel, and this might not involve your state, but it involves mine. And seeing our channel is named after the state of Minnesota, it's iconic. The state of Minnesota is the main icon of this channel. There's going to be a referendum that honestly could influence my channel. Well, I want to influence my channel, but I'm openly going to leave it up to my channel subscribers. You guys get to choose in the said referendum. Minnesota's getting a new flag tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's going to be flying. The old flag, which we've seen this flag, which has been voted out by the DFL Democratic or DFL legislature, basic because of the Native American right here. They are offended by this little thing here, Native American, and I guess they took that into account because Native American, I believe, the Sioux tribes in Minnesota have issued a petition to the DFL controlled legislature to take off the seal. They found it offensive. And the DFL legislator said, of course, because they're woke. And they said, we're going to not only take down the seal, we're going to replace the flag for you. And I'll tell you, I would think, you know what? I think the Sioux tribe does have a right to petition, obviously, but I obviously think that the Minnesotan people should decide in a ballot measure because I don't really trust. It's kind of sketchy that the DFL, we know the DFL does the woke tap dance in favor for minority groups. I think, you know what? It's racist. I don't think the seal's racist at all. The Native American here isn't doing something racially suggestive at all. It's just in the background. Honestly, I think it's kind of woke nonsense. But yeah, I definitely support a ballot measure. But the DFL legislator didn't go with that. Instead, they are deleted the flag. They're taking it down tomorrow. This is going to be a historic flag. This flag from 1983, a 40-year-old flag coming to an end, a new flag coming in tomorrow. This flag, a flag that the Minnesota GOP has been fighting. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a hardliner on Republican issues. And this is one issue that I think that Minnesota GOP is kind of being a little nonsense about because I find nothing woke from this flag. They're calling this woke communist flag, and I don't think it's woke. I think it's better than this one because this flag does not represent Minnesota at all. But I don't want to turn this into a political thing about the flag. Ultimately, my opinion doesn't matter. I think the seal, however, was fine. The seal should be the same. Minnesota obviously needed a new flag. I think the GOP in Minnesota wouldn't be so opposed to getting rid of this flag if it hadn't to be do with the Native American on it. I think the GOP wouldn't be so opposed to removing the flag if it hadn't nothing to do if the ballot measure or referendum had been given to voters in this November of this year or some place in 2024. I think it would have been but I think it's out of wokeness. Their GOP is getting mad because of the woke nonsense, but it is what it is. We can't change it. It's coming up tomorrow. This flag's coming down. But you guys have an influential vote. We got 3 voters in already that said no. And that's how I figure. I think the most common decision is going to be no, because once again, a lot of people oppose that don't like that the new flag and the new seal was the new coming seal was basically a higher a woke higher, if you will, in replacement for the previous flag. So yes, I'm going to be listening. Whoever gets the majority in 100 votes, the 100 votes is what's needed to win. Um, if we don't get 100 votes in within a month, I'll lower it down. I'll just call it. But anyway, 100 votes is the referendum will pass. Whatever gets the majority, I will be calling. Basically, I'll be making the decision from there if I should get rid of this seal on my icon right here, or I should be updating the new seal, which, if you guys are unfamiliar, the new seal looks like this. All right. In some ways, it looks better. I mean, but I will say that this flag, the old seal, is kind of based. But you guys let me know. So we're going to go on ahead. I had to get that out because that's something that's going on tomorrow. And I know that the seal, I don't think it should have been political, but it's kind of turned something in political because DFL supports the new flag and the new seal, and the GOP opposes the new changes because of the woke accusations. So I just want to follow up with you guys and see what you guys think and if we should update the seal or keep it the way it is. So that's all I want to do because we support democracy and I'm going to let you guys choose. But bad news for Joe Biden. He is continuously falling in the polls. And okay, look at that. Like, wow, that's weird. Like, I can't even click Trump versus Biden because electoral college is in the way. Look at that, guys. Like, oh my gosh. Like, this is so annoying. It's a lag. Let's see if I 24. Let's just say real clear. Trump versus Biden. Yeah, it's a lag. Yes, you'll see Trump is ascending in the polls. Take a look at Biden's approval, though. Biden approval on issues. Overall, I don't want to do Michigan. Come on. This is annoying. I don't know what's going on. It's a lag or something. No. All right, we're just going to do real clear polling.com/Biden job approval ratings and polls. Perfect. I don't know what's going on. Look at that. It's just ridiculous. But yes, you'll see Joe Biden has continuously plummeted down. And recent poll from May 5th suggests Biden disapproval of -19. 40% approve of Joe Biden. Overall, in latest polls, Joe Biden has descended in overall couple polls. Like in May, beginning of May, or I would say late April, marking the beginning of May 3rd, Biden was fair at 40. Now he's going down almost to 38%. Do you think he's going to go down to 20%? I don't think he will because, first off, in the RCP average, Biden had been in rough situations. Honestly, I think this is Joe Biden's most rough, most challenging period in his presidency because he's embattled. This guy is old and doesn't know what's going on. And worst of yet, he's embattled. He's being tug of war between pro-Israel Democrats and pro-Palestine Democrats. And no matter what decision he makes, he's basically screwing one side over. And that's not suiting well. First off, the establishment, the Democratic establishment, is going to support Biden regardless, because he's their guy. He is the guy that's, once again, representing the figurehead. But the constituents, the Democratic constituents, or we'll just say majority of them are populists that are more anti-establishment. Now, anti-democratic establishment are following in the likes of Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Rashada Tlaib, more of those people. But yes, a lot of those people, those are the people that you want to get to their base. So I don't know. I think Joe Biden is very comparable to Mitch McConnell. I think, honestly, we can agree. If Mitch McConnell ran for president, I think he'd lose. I think he'll lose because he can't get the right side of the aisle to the polls. They don't want to go and vote for him because he's an establishment figure. And the Republican Party, the MAGA Republican Party, has came to demonize establishment Republicans, right? It's the same thing with Democrats now. Democrats more recently, ever since the Israel Hamas, is now divided also between establishment and opposition. In this case, more populists, right? More progressives. So, interestingly enough, Biden's RCP average has never went down to 30. Hang on. This was July of 2020. That was during the gas prices hike. His lowest was 37.2, and his lowest, actually, it was 36.8, but that was technically his lowest. I'm really curious if that's going to go down. Who knows? But the student debt crisis, now the student debt thing, the student debt forgiveness agenda from Joe Biden that he's trying to push here is an attempt to get college students on board with the woke Biden agenda, right? It's attempt to get young college kids on board with the woke, as you know, on Joe Biden's presidential campaign. Joe Biden needs those voters to win. And so far, he's not getting those voters. So he's in desperate measures, and he's going to do desperate things. But what he doesn't realize is, sure, you might get a small amount of people, but keep in mind, college students, this is not supposed to be an insult, it's a fact. A lot of college students are stubborn, right? A lot of college students are stubborn, entitled. I wouldn't say privileged, but entitled. They think that they deserve, as you know, student loan forgiveness. They expect that out of the blue. So you're giving a student loan, good for you, I guess. But we want you out of Gaza. That's basically what they're saying. Stop supporting the genocide in Gaza, blah, 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 blah. And then you'll meet our expectations. This sounds like an entitled princess to me. But that is what the most college leftists operate and think. And most likely, this is what's going to happen. Some college students are going to be like, oh, I was wrong. I'm going to go and vote for Joe Biden because he helped me during this student debt crisis. And then once they might be helping those people, but in the future, like I would say in the next coming months, it's going to be very hard. Very hard because let's just say Americans abroad, that's going to crank up the price, not the prices, but taxes even more. Because who's going to pay for you for the student loan forgiveness? Right? Who's going to pay for it? Taxpayers, right? Taxpayers are going to pay that. So, yes, Joe Biden not doing well. And before we end this video, I want to go and take a look at president's approval ratings. We just looked at Trump's approval yesterday. That his approval during this time was 56% disapprove of him right now. Historical job approval. Yeah, he was better back then, but let's just take a look at what it said. 44%, 44.5% was his. And this was 2020 May 10th, right? 44.5% approve of Donald Trump. Today, 39.2% approve of Joe Biden. That's bad, right? And 44% of approval was enough to get Trump out of office in 2020. Now, what do you think if Trump's approval was down in the 30s? You could say Joe Biden would be flipping Texas, North Carolina, Florida, Ohio. They could go on and on and on. But then again, it's the voter. But other presidents throughout history lost re-election. An example would be George H.W. Bush, a president who's been very popular in most of his said political career. He was unpopular during the end of his presidency, and that's probably why he lost. And that was mainly because of the economy. It was not doing good because Bush got us into the Gulf War, and he also invaded Panama. So under Bush, we fought a lot of wars. And for a majority of, as you know, Bush's 4 years in office, he was in the 80% approval. But it was just, he went underwater by a little bit. He wasn't terribly unpopular, but it was Bill Clinton and his charming ways. He also campaigned under a Trump platform, believe it or not. He campaigned on a MAGA platform. Oh, what do you mean? Yeah, he was more left-wing, but he campaigned the same way Trump did. And that attracted voters. Not to mention there was Ross Perot, which was probably the primary reason why Bush lost, believe it or not. But believe it or not, there were voters that were like, I'm not so sure about Bush. Go back to 1980, Jimmy Carter lost, winning 41%. And his approval by leaving office was down in the 30s. Jimmy Carter, very comparable to Joe Biden, pretty much did the same thing. Jimmy Carter created the Islamic Republic of Iran. Good job, Jimmy. Joe Biden created the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Wow. Okay? Very similar. Both have inflation records. Don't know how to handle the economy. That ticked off people. And guess what? Just like Joe Biden, Jimmy Carter attacked Ronald Reagan, who is no different than Donald Trump, by the way. Carter attacked Reagan as a dangerous right-wing extremist and warned that Reagan would cut Medicare and Social Security. Did he do that, guys? He didn't. He actually made the economy better. He made people's lives better. And that's why he won 58.8%. Trump probably would have won in 2020 by a landslide, but because of liberal derangement towards Trump and the leftist control of the media, that wasn't going to happen, right? And it probably won't. He probably won't. I mean, Trump can't run a fourth time because if he wins in 2024, he's barred from running a third term. Fun fact. But yeah, those are good examples. Jimmy Carter is especially a great example. If you guys want to take a look at previous elections, 1980 is a perfect comparison to, as you know, 2024. I'm curious to see, am I saying, oh, Donald Trump's going to carry every state except for 6 states plus DC? No, it's not going to look like this. First off, politics were much less polarized. More states were moderate. They were open-minded. California openly embraced Reagan, despite being a right-wing extremist. He was also from California. And you got, Georgia openly embracing Carter, even though the majority of the state is conservative, Baptist, conservative, and Christian. Like, look at that. 1976, boom, 1970. Like, Democrats were winning Georgia 66.74%. 4 years ago, Republicans won Georgia 75.04%. And then 4 years after that, the American Independent, George Wallace, carried Georgia by a magnificent amount. So it's like crazy how polarized it is today and how less polarized it was back then, because people were more open-minded. People actually thought for themselves instead of listening and tuned into the media, because the media is the god, basically. If you aren't religious, you kind of are, because leftists, they reject religion, but in a reality, they do believe in a religion. They believe in the media. They believe in this cult-like religion where the media is the god, and you have to do what they tell you, and if you don't, that's basically blasphemic and heresy, and that's, in other words, misinformation in their words, and that's basically dangerous rhetoric. So you see how the media has taken over um, lots of people's lives and drove people into like, they're controlling them. And I mean, in the end, they're human. I know a lot of leftists will use my sentences against me, but in the end, they're going from human to NPCs. Like, they become propagandists, and that's what the media wants. The media wants more people to be like Joy Reid and Joy Behar and Rachel Maddow and Don Lemon, your favorite leftist propagandists. They want more people to be like that. And a lot of people are too naive to catch that. And they think, oh, Joy Behar thinks this way, I should, because Joy Behar is my role model. Joy knows what's right. That's what they say all the time. Even though these people aren't perfect, these people obviously are in a really easy position just to take advantage and grab money by saying whatever they want. So, something to keep in mind. But what do you guys think about Joe Biden's approval rating? Will this really affect his performance in the general? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to do this to vote in that poll. And anyways, I will see you guys in the next political episode.